Game one of the finals between Denver and Miami is almost here. I want to start by just getting your thoughts on this series overall and just what you're looking forward to.
I'm very stoked. I'm fired up. It's the NBA Finals, no matter the matchup. I know people are worried about big markets and all that other stuff, but I'm very much looking forward to the Miami Heat showing up in this spot. And I think the Denver Nuggets have been the best team in the West, haven't gotten a lot of respect, but they're here now. And Jokic or Jimmy Butler are going to get a ring. I'm fired up. I think it's awesome.
Absolutely. I think this is a really compelling matchup. And if people aren't watching, then shame on them. Any
Yeah.
picks you like for game one?
Yeah, game one. Let's jump right into it. Denver Nuggets first quarter -2.5. Now, this cannot be understated how well the Denver Nuggets have been playing on offense. In the playoffs, 119.7 offensive rating in this year's playoffs. Now, the Sacramento Kings had one of the best offenses we've ever seen in the regular season. They put up 118.6. So the Denver Nuggets are essentially playing a better offensive game right now than one of the best offenses we'd ever seen throughout the regular season in this playoffs. I want to reinforce how
Mm-hmm.
well Jokic and those guys have been playing on offense. Now, the reason I'm looking at the first quarter here -2.5, this is going to be an adjustment period for the Miami Heat coming off of that game 7 grinded out series against the Boston Celtics. Now, I know Miami is one of the most, we love them for how mentally tough they are
Mm.
and how Pat Riley and Spo have those guys ready. But this coming off a 7 game series, I think Jimmy Butler is banged up. Going into that altitude in Denver, I see them getting off to a really slow start. And I think Denver's also chomping at the bit to get going. They've been well rested, waiting for that Eastern Conference final to finish up. I look at this game just like the Lakers at game one in Denver. That, if you remember that
Yeah.
first quarter, the Lakers lost 37-25. I see something very similar coming here for the Denver Nuggets. I'll take the first quarter -2.5.
It's a tall task for Miami. I think it's a really smart play to go with that first quarter. All right, we're going to have some fun with props now because our podcast, Buckets, which you appear on regularly, has released an episode that was sort of a prop extravaganza, if you will. So I'm going to name a prop that was given out, and I'm going to see if you can name who gave out the prop and share any reaction you might have. Ready?
Yes, and I'm really glad I didn't listen to this episode already because I am going to fire it up later on this
Yes.
afternoon. So yes, let's go.
No cheating, no preconceived notions from you. Okay, so the first
Yeah.
one is Nikola Jokic to outscore Jimmy Butler every game at plus 2,200. Which one of your co-hosts does that sound like?
My initial thought when I read this in the rundown was that this was a Joe Delara prop, but I know how heavy and strong that my guy Jim Turvey has been on Jokic. We've actually talked about him a bunch. I'm gonna go Jim Turvey on Jokic to outscore Jimmy B every other game in this
Woo!
NBA Finals.
Your first instinct was correct, my friend. It was Joe
It's,
Delara on
yes,
this.
see. So that's why you always go with your gut. You always go with your first instinct when stuff like
Yes.
this comes up.
I mean, and for the record, Brandon Anderson co-signed, but I mean, every game. What do you think?
Yeah, I've been diving into this Jimmy Butler situation. I have a lot of interesting facts here. Now, they're gonna need Jimmy Butler offensively to show up in a major
Hmm.
way to keep up. I just laid out how well Denver's been playing offense. I'm not sure that Bam Adebayo is gonna be an answer for Jokic. If AD is not an answer for Jokic, then Bam Adebayo
Mm.
shouldn't be. Now, listen to this. Jimmy Butler has played 670 playoff minutes in this playoffs. When he's on the floor, the Miami point differential is only a +1.
Mm.
Now, Brandon Anderson also laid this out. First 8 games of the playoffs for Jimmy Butler, 33.5 points per game. The last 9, 24 points per game. Jimmy Butler has shot greater than 50% from the field only once since game 3 of the Knicks on May
Mm-hmm.
8th. He's shot at 50. He shot at 50% on the dot in game 5. That game was a blowout. He only had 10 attempts. If you go back to the first 7 games of the playoffs, he shot it 50% or greater from the floor in 6 of those games. 3 of those over 60%. I believe since he tweaked that ankle in New
Yes.
York, he hasn't been the same. He looks a little banged up.
Yeah.
I'm not sure Jimmy is full strength Jimmy right now, they're going to need him. I could see Jokic outscoring Jimmy Butler every game of this NBA Finals.
Oh, it hurts, but I get it. All right, next one we have Kentavious Caldwell-Pope to lead the series in threes, and that's at plus 5,000. Who do you think gave that out?
This has Brandon Anderson written all over it. If I know BA like I think I do, I think this is a Brandon Anderson play, looking at a nice little lofty plus 5,000 on KCP.
Oh, I got to tell you, it was Jim Turvey. Jim Turvey was on this one, believe it or not. So
all my guys are so sharp. You know what I mean? It's hard to pinpoint the sharpness. They're all sharp.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
It's very true. But KCP has just shot it very well from three. I feel like it's tempting for us to think about Caleb Martin and some of those other shooters on the Heat, but I could definitely see this.
Yeah, no question. I mean, the Nuggets have shooters all over the place. I think this is a very different squad. And these wings that play defense. KCP enjoys playing defense. Michael Porter Jr. has been playing a better brand of defense. I think the guy that Jimmy Butler off screen and roll will be hunting is Jamal Murray, but the rest of those guys are rock solid on the defensive end. So they could play D, they could shoot it. Yeah. KCP proved that he could shoot the rock in the last series as well.
Yeah, certainly a good value there with that price too. Okay, last one. I'm going to stick with the 3-point shooting theme. Duncan Robinson to hit at least 5 threes in a game this series. That's at plus 450.
Yeah, I'm going to go. That's Brandon Anderson. Has to be. I figured it has to be BA in that spot. Also, since I missed the first two, Brandon's got to be on here somewhere.
Yes,
so
yeah. Okay, well, I think you can tell by my smile. You're right. It definitely is Brandon Anderson. And look, if Duncan Robinson continues to play the way he's been, I could see this happening too.
I think he'll get the minutes as well. They're going to need buckets. They need scoring. And Duncan Robinson, hey, I tweeted out that in Game 6, I was shocked that he took that under a minute transition, under 30 seconds transition three. And then I thought about it for a second the next couple of days, and I was like, I'm actually dead wrong.
Yeah.
I'm actually glad he shot it. He was playing his tail off in that game, was going to the basket. Confidence was there.
Right.
This is a very live play because he's going to get the looks and they're going to need the baskets. If they're competing, this should cash.
You can tell the confidence has been there for him, and it has been everything for him and the Miami Heat. All right, Sean Little, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for playing. We appreciate it.